Hello my dear viewer, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in your part of the world. Welcome to a new category on our Planet Diaries, which is going to be called Stations to Stadiums, where basically we're just going to be doing a brief tour from the nearest underground to the stadium itself. So as you see, we're starting with Arsenal, the Emirates, and a couple of other stations which is quite close by as well, which is Highbury and Islington, Finsbury Park, Holloway Road. But what we are going to do, we are just going to take a walk along this road. So basically I've been instructed by this chap who's selling the scarves to do a right turn when we get to Arsenal station. So if you want to follow me, we can make our way to the Emirates. As you see, it is match day, and that makes me very, very hungry. It is match day. The Arsenal have got the Borough today, in this October 2016. And as you see, we can't really be any closer. We've got Drayton Park here, so we just basically stick all the way along Drayton Park. This is probably the easiest way to the ground itself. We're loving these stores. So it's quite early on, but as you can imagine, it's late morning at the moment. I'd say about 11:45, but you can imagine over the next 2 or 3 hours, these roads are going to be pretty packed with Arsenal and Middlesbrough fans. So what we'll do is we'll see if we can have a little nose around the stadium itself. Obviously I can't film inside the stadium, but there's no reason why we can't have a little nose around, have a little walk around. So here we are. Let's have a little look around. Okay. Reminds me a bit of Wembley in some ways, this walkway. Steps and everything. So, as you see, from Arsenal Underground, literally, the Emirates is a stone's throw away. There's all the stewards doing their routine checkups for the day.
Angela, you've got one more, 11.
As you can see, it's a magnificent stadium. I never got a chance to get to Highbury or to see a game. I saw it from the outside, but I get the impression this is Adams. One of the best defenders, let's say, England's ever seen. Have a look at some of these steps. So many names, so many faces. Just have a little walk around the stadium itself. As you can imagine, I'm glad I'm doing it at this time because it would be pretty hard, I think, with all the hustle and bustle of the crowd. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a video link below, because I am coming back here a bit later to capture the atmosphere of all the fans. And if you want to, you can just have a little click on the link so you can get a feel of what it's like on match day itself when the fans are gathering around. Looks like Steve Bold. It's McClintock. It's Parler. Do they have one of Charlie Nicholas, I wonder? Arsenal's manager, not George Graham, Arsene Wenger. I'm showing my age there. Arsene Wenger, currently just celebrated 20 years in charge at Arsenal. I think he's one of those guys where he's achieved records that you know will never be broken. There are things that he's done that you'll never see again. I think, well, I dare say you'll ever see a manager at a club for 20 plus years. I don't think you're ever going to see a manager that's going to win 6 FA Cups for the same team. That's never going to happen. It's almost like one of those records that, those things that you'll never see again. Like Brazil getting stuffed in the semi-final against Germany with Mesut Ozil 2 years ago. It's just one of those things you'll never see again. Kenny Dalglish winning the double as player manager in his first season. Or Just Fontaine, the French guy who scored 13 goals in World Cup finals in 1958. Just one of those things that you just know you'll never ever see again in football. I love the way they've got that sort of Band of Brothers thing. Great players. This is a guy from my generation, more so, Ian Wright. Although I have to say the best Arsenal team I ever saw was probably in 97-98. That was outstanding. I mean, if you think about it, they probably had the best midfield in the world at the time, with Henry and Batty in the middle. Or Vieira and Batty, sorry, in the middle. And they went and won the World Cup in France that year as well, 98. So really, that was, Arsenal had the greatest midfield in the world at that particular time. They won the league and cup doubles in 71, and they didn't win the league again until 89 with that incredible last-minute goal from Michael Thomas, who ironically went on to play for Liverpool. It was against Liverpool in the 89th minute. But Thomas went on to play for Liverpool after that. There's Rocky Rocastle, David Rocastle. I read a book about him quite recently called Rocky. It's a very moving book. I'd say probably in the late 80s, early 90s, he was without doubt one of the best players in Europe. There was a lot of interest in him from European clubs. It's a really interesting read. If you get a chance, read the book Rocky. There's David Seaman. I remember seeing him when he was at QPR. He was at Birmingham City as well for a while. Right. So I'm making the most of this quietness and directions and things. I hope they've helped out a little bit. But as you see, we got off to a very, very easy start in terms of destination from the stadium to there's Bergkamp there. If you get a chance, just Google or go onto YouTube and see Bergkamp's hat-trick against Leicester in the 97-98 season. Got Bob Wilson there, who I'm too young to remember as an Arsenal player, but he was the guy that was introducing Football Focus on Grandstand back in the day with Frank Boff. Frank Boff with his antics. So we're going to do a full circle. And as I said, a bit later on I'm going to come back and film some of the Borough fans and the Arsenal fans, and maybe you can see if you can spot yourself if you're here today. Late October 2016, the Premier League fixture against Borough. There's Kenny Sampson, just left back with England and Arsenal. We've got a lot of England caps as well, hell of a lot. Another awesome player, Winterburn. These are the players from my generation. Okay, so it looks like we've done a full circle. As I said, I hope this video has helped out a little bit in terms of directions. And if you've got as far as 17 minutes, well, that's fantastic. And I do appreciate you sticking around to have this, you know, very quiet Emirates Stadium at the moment, but I just wanted a chance to show you around the complex a little bit. And as we said, probably Arsenal, Finsbury Park, Holloway Road, Highbury and Islington are probably the closest stadium, closest train stations.
Il est obligé, tu vois, il est resté sur sa ligne.
So, thanks for watching from the Emirates today. And until next time, from Tony Adams and the Emirates Stadium, be safe, take no nonsense, and only love what loves you back. I'll see you soon.